and I teach abacus to children. What's an abacus? Abacus is a bunch of beads that's in a that's structured. So this is an abacus. If you see here, that's my abacus, and so we're gonna talk more about it. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to this. Oops. So this is my abacus. If I wanted to, we have a bunch of beads. These little things are all called beads. These beads is what help us count. So it's like a marker, right? It marks and it helps us tally up what we're trying to count. So if I have one object, right? If I have one object, then I have one. So this is equal to one object. Kind of makes sense, right? So if I wanted two, I have two beads. And now I have three beads. I have one, two, three beads. When I do four, it's easy. One, two, three, four. So I got to take all these four beads and I got to move it up. So what an abacus does is it helps children to count, and it also helps to make sure, not to help them, it helps them visualize in their head what an abacus looks like. This is like the next step to going into mental math. So you're asking, well, what's after four? How do I know that this is four and not this? I'm sorry. How do I know that this is four and not this? To know that this is four is this beam right here. This beam is what touches and what helps us count what we're counting. So when these beads are touching this beam, then they're all connected, then that's what four is. So this is actually zero. This would be one. So in this column, right? This column, this would be considered one. If I needed to do two, see how there's two beads touching this beam. So to take a look, it's good to know that when we're trying to count this, when the beads touch the beam, that's when we know it's counted. So if it's all like this, then this is one, two, 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 let's do three, and then that's four, right? Okay. So, okay. Oh my gosh, what's going on? So to reset my abacus, all I got to do is tilt it up and then push it down and then push the top beads up. So the next thing would be, what is 5? Well, since this is 4, we don't have any more beads to do 5. To do a substitution or a replacement, we need to know that this is 5. Anytime this bead comes down, touches this beam, this is considered 5, right? So then when we look very closely, when we do 6, notice how this one bead is touching this beam. So now, because these two beads are touching, this is considered 6. If we remove this bead, so the top bead, and it's no longer touching, this is now 1. Okay? If we want to do 7, it's 5, 6, 7. So we want to move this one up. So now there's 3 beads touching this beam. It's kind of cool because now I notice that some of the kids will have problems counting up. But with abacus, since this is a 5, it's easy for the kids to recognize that counting up is just from 5, 6, 7, right? So 5 and then 2 beads, that makes 7. So 5 plus 2 is equal to 7, and they will start to see that. Now we do 8, it's just 5, 6, 7, 8. So we put that together. When we push it apart, we bring it together like this, and that is 8. And it's easy to see, right? Because it's 5, 6, 7, 8. The next thing would be 9, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. To know more about like all of this stuff, right? It's easy to recognize that this is 9, just like how, you know, a die, right? This is easy to know that this is 5 because the way it's shaped or the way the pattern is. we know that this is 6, right? It's the same thing with this, but there's only 6 sides, right? On the abacus, depending on how many columns you have, each column only has 9. So this will always be 9. And then if we go 6, right, that will always be 6. Just like how on the die, this will always be 5, right? So some more about this abacus. This abacus is housed and it is being held by a thing called a frame. This frame is what holds everything and makes it all structured. This thing right here, that's a beam, right? And then we have our columns, right? Columns. Each of the columns have beads, and these are the beads. This is the bottom beads, and then this is the top bead up here. Top bead. Oh, I need to flip that. Every top bead is equal to 5. I have to figure out how to mirror that. All right, so we'll do that for now. Okay. Maybe I try to do it now. Okay. Well, I'll have to figure that out next time. So that's the beginning of learning what abacus is. And you can actually add and subtract on the abacus. And it's easy for the kids to see how adding and subtracting on the abacus is, because it's just like, you have your objects, right? And you take away 1 and you're left with 2. It's the same thing with the abacus. If you have 3 beads and you take away 1, you have 2 left. And it's easy for the kids to see what they're doing and what they're not doing, right? So this is a good hands-on tool that they can, manipulate the numbers. And it's easy for the kids to see that, how to decompose and recompose. And we can talk about that in the next video. So, that's it. Thanks for watching. Let's see. Thanks for watching. That's what I have. That's the introduction to an abacus, and I think it's really kind of interesting on how an abacus works and stuff. Let me know if this was helpful. Comment down below and see comment down below, and abacus, about counting and stuff. It's been kind of an interesting ride. Bye. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.